I have a great example of that, of a construction company that I work with. Where dad worked with the grandparents, and then the G2. I work with G2 and G3, and we're bringing in G4. They're all, it's, big machinery. It's all guys. There's only, one woman in the business, one sister. And so when I started to introduce this idea of how do we communicate better and personalities, you can imagine the pushback I got from this crew. This was not going to happen. We're not going to have these conversations. We don't do touchy feely, Mike. And I'm like, so let me help you with this a little bit. And this is where, if you've been on here before, I know I go back to some of the same stories, but the Metallica movie, Some Kind of Monster, Metallica was imploding back in the 90s and going through a tough spot. And they're not a family, but if you think about how close they were and how they treated, they treat their band as a business and they travel together. It is like a family. They spend an awful lot of time together. So when you watch this documentary, they brought in a performance coach, a business coach, to help them figure this stuff out. So I highly recommend to all my family businesses to watch Some Kind of Monster. You don't have to be a Metallica fan. My wife, who hates that kind of music, watched the movie and said, those guys are really interesting. And you'll see the emotional maturity of one of the hardest rock bands, the most successful bands out there. And so when I, introduced these ideas to the construction guys, I said, you tell me when you're cooler than Metallica, and then we'll take your advice over theirs. So that was my, nice, easy way to put that in there. And the kids who were familiar with Metallica came back and said, he's right. If this is good enough for them to do this kind of work, then we really need to be open to it. And the conversations that we've had as a family and how they communicate with each other is 1,000 times more respectful. There was times when I thought we were going to have to break up fights, literal fist fights between brothers and cousins as we, started this. And now they have conversations that are, they're wonderful, meaning conversations, and it's okay to be different. So thank you. I did not expect to go in this direction as we were talking about this. That's why I love these conversations, because you start having, these conversations and you don't know where it's going to go when it comes to family. So Frank, thanks for popping in and helping us find a little bit more there.